Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Thanks for coming out. We couldn't bring sunshine, but so far we've held off the rain. That's about as good as we could do on a day like this. Another great day for Green. Have another exciting project. For many, many years, we've talked about a downtown. Where is the center of it? Where is this downtown that so many of you wanted? And now we have the beginning of our own Central Park, which is in what I call Central Green. So when you think about that, this amenity will cement that and be the lead feature in what I call Central Green. So we've got the Central Administration Building, you've got Green Local Schools and the stadium, you have our hospitals, you have our fire station, you have our library, you have the related retail to support it, and that is the beginning of your Central Green. But this park is, you're going to hear more about from our other speakers as we move along this morning, but clearly this is a major, major undertaking for our city, and lots of people to thank and recognize for that. Before I do that, as you know, putting on events like this is a major undertaking. Lots of things go on to make this happen, and I want to acknowledge a few people. First, my assistant, Amy Sane. Amy, raise your hands so we know who you are. Valerie Wolford, our communications coordinator from Parks. Kim Goodhart, Mike Elkins, and our service director, Paul Orberdorfer. How about a round of applause for these folks? And then I'd like to recognize some elected officials and our community leaders. First from Council, Skip Somerville is here. Ken Nodal is on the stage, and he'll be speaking to you shortly. Mr. James Alstrom, also on Council, will be speaking to you today. And our Council President, Chris Humphrey, sends his regrets he couldn't be here today. Also from the City of Green, and one of our leaders, Lori Howerton. Is Lori here? I don't see her. And then Rick Rebadal. Is Rick here? Yeah, hi Rick. Rick's from the Akron Chamber of Commerce, and he's a resident of Green and been a big supporter of this project, and I thank you, Rick, for your leadership in that regard. From our Parks and Recreation Board, these folks, of course, are volunteers, and they do a terrific job, and they have parks in their blood. They really value the park system we have in Green, and they've given their time free of charge. I'd like to acknowledge them. Tom Hefner is here from the Parks Board. Where's Tom? Tom, thank you for serving. Donna Anderson. Donna, thank you. Les Kuglix. Les, thank you so much. And Jennifer Foster, who's going to speak to you in a few minutes. I think we have some representation from Green Local Schools. Julie McMahon. Julie is, I saw her. Good morning, Julie. And Mark Kurdlick. Is Mark here? Hi, Mark. Thank you. He's on the school board. And Katie Stoynoff. I know I saw Katie. Katie's also on the school board. Thank you so much for coming. And they, of course, have been very interested because they're going to get to enjoy this amenity as they work there. Let me, before we get to the speakers, let me just talk to you for a minute about the vision. As we talked about Central Green and downtown, it occurred to me that we had this land adjacent to our administration building. And we knew there was some land adjacent to it that could be purchased, and so we began to acquire land and assembled enough land to create about 9 acres. And I thought how cool it would be to have our own version of Central Park right here in the city of Green. And you all know that if you don't preserve the land and you allow it to be developed, and trust me, I'm a big proponent of business development, and all that goes with it is treated us very well. But I also value the green space and the enjoyment that you will get as residents and business owners to participate in this great event. So we began to brainstorm the idea. We put a team together and talk about Central Park, what we could do, what it would be like, what kind of amenities we wanted, and other speakers are going to talk about that. And we began to work really hard in developing the plan, and it was convoluted, it was exciting, lots of ideas, and I think it's been boiled down to one terrific plan, and I couldn't be more proud to be the leader of Green during a time like this when you have these kinds of major investments in our city. So that's how the vision for the park came about. I want to share that with you. We do have 5 speakers today. Let me introduce them, if I may. Jennifer Foster, she's the chair of Green Parks and Recreation Board. And Jennifer has been very instrumental. She's been very cooperative. She's been an advisor. She's had terrific ideas. She's stood tall when she needed to, and I really appreciate the leadership, Jennifer, from you in that regard. Following Jennifer will be Ken Nodal. He's our Vice President of City Council. He'll give you a council's perspective on this park. You'll also hear from James Alstrom, one of our other City Council persons. And we've asked him to speak because he is the chairman of our Parks and Recreation Committee. He's the liaison between Parks Board and Council. We're going to hear from Mark Bockrath. He's the Director of Planning and Urban Design from OHM. These are the folks that helped us in our vision, create the plans. They've been terrific to work with. A bunch of young guys with a lot of energy, a lot of creativity, and don't let their youth have that be a negative. These guys are wise beyond their years. They're really talented. We recognize that talent right off, and we chose to engage them. And finally, you'll hear from Don Taylor, president of Welty Building. And Don and his company are going to do the construction management on our behalf. You may recall that Welty was the construction manager for our central administration building. You've seen that building and how well that has come together. Welty is also was the construction manager for Infocision Stadium at the University of Akron. They were the construction manager for the new Goodyear Tire World Headquarters. And now they're about to complete the major expansion at Children's Hospital. So a very seasoned construction management group, and we wanted that expertise because this project is really important for us. So now I'll turn it over to Jennifer Foster.
Thank you. On behalf of the Parks and Recreation Board, we want to thank you for celebrating this event with us here today, and we're proud to be part of this ceremony as we celebrate the beginning of the construction of Green's 10th park. This park complements the current park and recreation offerings that we offer. It's intentionally designed to bring the community together. It will have lots of new features and experiences, and it will extend the walking trails with connectivity to the schools and many nearby neighborhoods so that many people can enjoy this park. The experience of this park will include activities and events for individuals and families that will be able to be enjoyed all year long. There will be a dedicated space for the farmers market, summer concerts in the amphitheater. Kids will be playing on hot summer afternoons in the splash pad. There will be a place for picnics, family reunions in the community hall, tailgating before football games, ice skating in the park in the wintertime, as well as Christmas in the park. There will be plans for increased senior programming and opportunities for venues for weddings and wedding photographs. So we look forward to enjoying this park with you, and we're thankful that you were able to come today. Thank you.
Thank you. It's nice to see the turnout that we had here today and the interest in this park. As a current council member, during the entire planning process, it is extremely humbling to see and begin this project and see the first shovelful of dirt being turned today. Council spent a great amount of time and discussions critiquing this project throughout the entire process. We gathered input from the public hearings, forums, and surveys to obtain feedback from the residents and businesses within the community to create the best park possible using their ideas. Council was involved with the planning discussions and scrutiny as funds were appropriate and approved for this project. Compromises were made to keep this project within a budget of what we had originally planned. And throughout the entire process, we tried to make sure that the community would be proud of the park that's been established, not only for the residents of today, but for generations to come. Thank you.
Good morning, James Alstrom, City Council, Ward 1. I just want to say a couple things to all the people that were involved in this whole project. As chair of the Parks Committee, I want to thank Mr. Wayne Weekey, Mr. Mike Elkins, our former Service Director, Randy Monteith, and our current Service Director, Paul Orville. We did have a committee, Mr. Pickett, our City Engineer, And our Parks and Recs board, they have a lot of man hours in this whole project. And there was a lot of residents that were put together to put a steering committee together as well. In reference to Mr. Humphreys, Skip Somerville, and the Green Local Schools, Jeff Miller, and Father Durkee as well. And a lot of community leaders such as Rick Miller, Nita Biscuit, and Donna Anderson. So, and all those, I just want to thank all those people that put in all those man hours and made this thing possible. So, my first piece of business as city council was January of last year, and they put a $5 million project, in your lap. So it's a little intimidating at first, but I was not on board. But sitting with the administration and understanding the vision and the foresight of the mayor and city council and the administration, they definitely put those nerves, to rest. So I want to thank the mayor and the administration of letting, city council, take the time to understand the whole project, at least from my perspective. So, thank you.
Good morning. Thanks for the opportunity to say a few words about this exciting project. As mentioned, my name is Mark Bockrath, and I'm the Director of Planning and Urban Design at OHM Advisors. OHM has been working with the City of Greene for years, developing the vision and program for this park. This is no ordinary park. Central Park is at the heart of the city and adjacent to several civic uses. Central Park will become the public nucleus of the community and will serve as a destination for many generations. Central Park will attract all ages, young and old. There will be amenities for children, such as a playground and a splash pad. Young adults will use the open lawn to throw frisbee with pets and play catch with each other. People will gather in the outdoor amphitheater to watch musical and theater acts. Engaged couples will be able to rent the community hall to host wedding events. Many programs and events such as art shows, farmers market, craft shows, and community holiday events will be held to celebrate the strength and pride of the community. Many memories will be made at Greene Central Park. Rather than designing a formal static structure and pathways for the park, the integrated design team worked together to successfully blend the site and various structures into a variety of connected outdoor and indoor spaces and functions. The design for both the park and the structures took on an organic, playful, free-flowing appearance. The end product will be a seamless integration of site amenities and architecture to create an iconic landscape for the community. As mentioned earlier, this project is years in the making. The OHM design team itself has spent over 5,000 hours to date making sure the end product will be a success. I'm sure the City of Greene has many more hours to add on top of that. Welty and the construction team will obviously multiply these hours several times to get the project built. And I want to finish up by recognizing some of the design team for their expertise and dedication to the project. OHM Advisors, Tony Slanik, Gary Seabaugh, Justin Miranda, Hammond Tree and Associates, Jennifer Schumacher, and Josh Reneker. Epic Engineering, Rick Quinlan, I know Rick's here today. HCW, Jason McKinney. And some of the individuals from the City of Greene, a special thanks to Michael Elkins, Paul Oberdorfer, Paul Pickett, Mayor Norton, and all of City Council. And on behalf of the entire design team, we really look forward to watching this project take shape over the next coming year. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Don Taylor, President and CEO of Welty Building Company, and it is a real honor to be a part of this project. I'd like to thank the mayor and his staff for their leadership, City Council for their guidance and their approval of the project, and the attendees that are here today. Thank you for coming out on this what will be a momentous occasion. I'm a 28-year Greene resident. I graduated from Springfield High School, and green was the promised land back then, and it still is. It's interesting when you play little games with words like park. 28 years ago, when I moved here, or when I graduated from high school, the word park meant something different, so it's really nice to so we are very excited to establish a central green. Having been involved in the central administration building, I will tell you that we build all over the country. We build projects that have a lot more zeros in it than this project has. There is no project that gets more attention and has more of our dedication to it than when you build in your hometown. There's something really prideful about being able to work at home, have your friends and neighbors and family see what you do. There's also a lot of pressure that comes with that, because the last thing you want to do is not have an answer or have something go wrong. So you have our full attention on this project, and we're very proud to be a part of it. The thing that I think separates Green, we have had great leadership over the years. It became a city when, after I moved here, we actually got a traffic light at Rayburn and Massillon Road. I can remember to go to work, I actually had to risk my life and pull in front of somebody and hope they stopped before we had as much growth in traffic. We are blessed because of the leadership. We are blessed because of the location. And I think in the future we're going to find that we are blessed in Green because of the return on the investment that we've made. These projects sometimes can be controversial. It's easier a lot of times to do nothing. So I admire the mayor and council and the Parks Board for taking this project on. When we look at Green having to compete, and we do, we are competing with every other municipality for families to live here, stay here, and we want to have something that makes a difference. I think the investment that we're making in this park system, we're going to find is a huge difference maker for us. So I applaud you for that, and thank you for the opportunity, and we look forward to a fantastic project.
Thank you to our speakers. I really appreciate your candid comments. As we close this out, we will eventually get to a ceremonial groundbreaking. There you see a little pile of dirt out there, and we'll stick some shovels in there, and you can take your pictures, and that's the essence of a groundbreaking. But it's really more than that. It's bringing all of our people together, letting everyone share in the excitement, because it's not my part. This is your part. It's our part. It's the Seated Greens part. And I couldn't be more humbled and more proud to have been involved in some small way to make this happen. I know a lot of folks have already been recognized, but I want to recognize them and acknowledge their help and support. First and foremost, the City Council has been involved the entire way, again, like Don said, giving us their guidance and their advice and challenging us when they should, and we really appreciate that. Certainly the leadership of the Parks and Recreation Board. There were 30 or 40 people in the steering committee, representation from all across all the facets of the city, and have their input, like we acknowledge them. And certainly my staff, Wayne Leakey, our planning director, Mike Elkins, our superintendent of parks, former service director, Randy Monteith, current service director, Paul Oberdorfer, and our engineer, Paul Pickett. You heard from OHM. They have been our partners the entire way. They've listened to us, they've guided us, they've helped us take this vision that was in our head and put it to paper. That's not an easy task, by the way, given everyone's interest. So Mark Bockrath, Justin Miranda, thank you so much for your participation, your help. And certainly from the Welty staff who's been with us and will be with us in the future, Don Taylor, Scott Armstrong, I see Scott, thank you so much, Scott John White, and Bill Bailey. Don Taylor talked about it a little bit, but it's something I call the value proposition, creating a place to come together. So what is that value proposition? And it really has to do with quality of life. It has to do with pride in your neighborhood, a place where people can come together, the socialization of Green, meaning a central gathering place where you can meet your neighbors, take your family. I'm remembering words from Dr. Stover, President and CEO of Akron General. And you know, he's all about a healthy lifestyle. And what we've discovered through the years is as humans, we're always better. In fact, we feel better, we behave better, and we're happier when we're outside. And to create a place where you can be outside with your family and your friends and your comrades is a great contribution to not only our mental health but our physical health. So don't forget the importance of that. Again, the value to the families and to the community, and not just the folks that live here. We're a large base for jobs. We created lots of jobs. Jobs were here when I became mayor. They were here before that mayor became mayor. But we've grown dramatically. And I will tell you that these companies that talk to us about staying in Green or coming to Green love the fact that we're investing in this park and all that it brings, because their employees, as they recruit employees, want to know what's it like working in Green, what's it like living in Green, what will my work day be like in the city of Green, and they really appreciate. That's again, that's a major part of the value proposition. I call it leverage. We're taking what you call a significant amount of money at that $6 million range, and we're investing in the city of Green. And you will leverage that to something really creative, and that will be your quality of life, the fun you have, the jobs it will create, and the jobs it will retain, and the reputation that we establish. Don't forget about reputation. People say things about you, and that, in fact, is your reputation. If you deserve a good one, you'll get it. If you deserve a bad one, you'll get it. So we think a lot about the reputation of our city, and trust me, the word will get out. This park will be absolutely unique in the region, and will be the envy of many of our neighboring cities. In terms of our timeline, we started about 3 years ago, and you can see where we're at today. Lots of work, lots of involvement from a whole variety of people. And we're here today for the ceremonial groundbreaking. We'll be outside in just a few minutes. And then we expect completion. Don, what should I say? Midsummer 2016? Is that a good date? Yeah. Have you got that written down? You're on the hook. And the Wealthy Company is very good at doing the things that we love.